Alright, so what's going on, guys? If you don't already know who I am, my name is Carlos, and as you can see in the background, that is my 2003 Mach 1. So about a few weeks ago, I went ahead and posted one of those Q&As on Instagram where you guys ask me questions and I respond via story. But I got a lot of questions of people asking me or telling me, hey bro, I just got this 1999 Mustang, I just got this 2003 GT whatever, and they asked me what's the first things that they should do to make it look like mine. And first off, I'm pretty honored that you guys like my car enough to the point where you want to duplicate it a little bit. But I thought of that question and I just said to myself, like, why are they asking me this? I mean, you can just Google it, go on Facebook or whatever. I mean, I thought it was a pretty simple answer, but turns out that there's a lot of people that actually don't know where to start. So today what we're gonna go ahead and do, and as you can tell from the title of the video, we're gonna go ahead and do a walk around of my 2003 Mach 1. And if you look at it right now, you must think, dang, he probably has a mod list like this big. And I really don't. I mean, it's such a basic build if you want to call it. It's been a fun little project so far. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the mods. And just a quick heads up, I'll try to go ahead and mention everything, but I don't have a list that I'm looking at. So if I miss a few things, they're probably minor details, but I'm gonna go over the main part. So if you have any questions, just feel free to drop it in the comments below and I'll try to do my best to go ahead and answer them. And I'm gonna go ahead and start from the front and make my way towards the rear. And one last thing before I go ahead and get started, I know I keep interrupting, but I bought this car completely stock except for, I think, the radio. I think the radio was the only thing that the previous owner ever changed about this car. It was completely stock. I'll go ahead and put pictures on the screen so you know that the Mach has come a long way from stock. I mean, if you look at the before and after, shit's crazy. But now let's go ahead and get started. All right, so in the engine bay, first thing I did is the Cobra Jet emblem and painting the shaker scoop. And along with that, I went ahead and raised the Mach 1 shaker scoop just a little bit, I think about ½ an inch. And I did that using the spacer method, which is basically you take off the shaker, you add some spacers, and it basically raises itself. I know that there are companies that sell the shaker scoops. They're about like 120, 150 bucks. But this is an alternative method, kind of a poor man's method, and it's worked so far, so no complaints here. Next up is a JLT Ram air intake, and I actually got one from one of my good friends. He's actually pro charged and he's going to be helping me with the pro charger install, so shout out to him. I'll go ahead and put his stuff right here. Making our way down, we got the retrofit DRL headlights. To be honest, these headlights, they look pretty mean, but at night, the visibility is not very impressive. Next up is the 99 through 01 Cobra front bumper, and I picked this up about a few weeks ago. I got it paint matched Azure Blue, however you want to pronounce it, and I got this top end and this bottom end painted black, and honestly, I think it makes the biggest world of a difference. I mean, look at that. And making our way to the side, we have the ESR SR2s. Some people love them, some people hate them. It's definitely unique. I don't see a lot of people with them, thankfully. And I do have 9.5 in the front and 10.5 in the rear. And they are wrapped around Nitto NT 555s, 275, 35, 18 in the front, and Toyo TQs 315, 30, 18 in the rear. And they are plus 22 offset all around. Next up, you have the Magic Drift side splitters. I love these splitters, they look amazing. And of course, we have 5% window tint all around. I am planning on doing my windshield, probably 35%. Up top, we have a 3M gloss black roof wrap. This was probably one of the first things that I ever did to this car. I failed the first time, but on the second time, it's absolutely spotless. And all right, so small update. I ended up taking off the wrap. It was just too frustrating for me. I am a perfectionist. I like everything to be perfect. And there were too many small minor wrinkles that I didn't like. I wanted it to be perfect, so I just got frustrated and took off the whole thing. I haven't had any issues with it so far. I mean, it looks like a professional did it, but look at that. Looks good. Black will soon be black. And making our way towards the rear, I mean, as you can see, the rear is almost stock except for the fact that I have no spoiler. So at first it was a spoiler delete, but I was contemplating on putting it back or keeping it off or whatever. So I went ahead and sold it to someone local for around $30, so I do not have the spoiler anymore. I am gonna get these holes shaved and filled, so it's gonna be completely blank, almost like the bullets. And of course you have the Mustang black inserts that are found on eBay. Now going to the exhaust, I have a UPR off-road X pipe with Borla attacks in the rear. It's not the Borla Attack catback. Some guy was selling the Borla Attack mufflers online, so I went ahead and bought them, and I got them welded onto my SLP catback. They're loud, but they're not too loud, and they actually have a really good tone. Okay. Third. Second. Okay, that sounds pretty good. That sounds really good. Okay. Now going back to one of the biggest and main things on the Mach 1 is of course the Airlift 3P kits. Got the app right here, and let's air out. Now moving towards the inside of the car, I mean, everything is completely stock. The previous owner did change the radio to an aftermarket JVC. I'm not sure what model, or the KWR910BT. And I mean, it's okay. It has Bluetooth, it has aux cord, but I do want to upgrade to something in the future that does have Apple CarPlay. But overall, I mean, it does its job, and I'm not really complaining about that. Down here, we do have the MGW short throw shifter race handle, and I absolutely love this thing. It's probably one of my favorite mods on the Mach 1, and I highly recommend it. And of course, this little awesome thing has a coin delete. I love this thing. And this right here is what's next for the Mach 1. I think 3rd week of June, that's when I have my dyno tune. So 2nd week of June is when the install goes down. And I have, I'd say 97% of the things that I really need. Maybe I'm missing like a bolt here and there, but the main parts I already have. And you guys can go ahead and watch my previous videos to see what kind of spark plugs, what kind of injectors, fuel pump I'm going with. I mean, I've already talked about this way too much, but it's probably one of the last things that I'm ever gonna do to the Mach 1. Man, oh man. I took about 2 months off in January and February, and I think I came back in March. People were thinking that I was buying a Cobra because everybody was selling their cars. I wanna say that I was the first on the trend, but I don't know. And originally I was gonna like almost clickbait you guys, but that didn't work out. But I'm kind of back on it, you know? See, the thing with YouTube is that people are always looking for new content, which is why you see a lot of people selling their Mustangs and buying GT500s because, oh, Shelbys, everybody loves Shelbys. It's for the views and for the content and all that stuff. And it kind of sucks, but it's kind of good at the same time because it motivates you to be out there looking for great content. I mean, you're always doing something. You gotta remember that us smaller YouTubers, we're not like at to the point where we're making like millions, where we can have like a 12 car garage or whatever. So as much as I'd love to own a Cobra and a Mach 1, man, that would be pretty sick. 600 horsepower Cobra, pro charged Mach 1, I mean, that would be an A1 garage. I do feel that my channel's really gonna grow if I get a Cobra. Thing is, I don't wanna sell my Mach 1, so I have two options. Grind my way and try to make 20,000 in like the next 2 months or whatever. It is possible, but it's completely crazy. Or I just go ahead and sell the Mach 1 after I pro charge it. I mean, I'll just have my fun here and there. And I think I can get a pretty decent amount from my Mach 1 to put as a down payment for a Cobra. I mean, my views have been doing really good. They could be doing better. I mean, I should be averaging like 15K per video or whatever. But I just don't think that the Mach 1 is gonna bring me that like 100K subs, you know? As much as I want it to be, people don't even know what a Mach 1 is. They know about GTs, they know about V6s, they know about Cobras, they've heard of Mach 1s, but they don't really care about it. And I know because I was the exact same way before I bought the Mach 1. I didn't care about the Mach 1 at all. It was either Bullet, GT, or Cobra. For me, there was no Mach 1, so I don't know. Just been a thought. I've kind of been ranting on a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. I mean, maybe something pops up and maybe this Pro Charger install is what really gets me to blow up or something. I don't even know, but no matter what, I mean, I'm always gonna have fun building or working on my cars. I mean, no matter what. I mean, it sounds kind of selfish, but I build my cars for myself. But I put the videos to entertain you guys, so I can show you guys, so you guys can learn, so I can learn. They can see the process. I mean, car culture it's a beautiful thing, honestly. But if I didn't enjoy modifying cars, then I probably wouldn't be doing YouTube, because this is my passion right here. I love working on cars. I love being around cars. I love the car culture, and I'm proud to be able to do what I'm doing, and that's all thanks to you guys, so I really appreciate that. But I've been talking too much. I mean, you guys saw the rundown of my 2003 Mach 1, the stuff here and there. I mean, if I was missing something, feel free to drop it in the comments below. I think this is where I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to drop a comment, let me know what you guys thought. Make sure to give this video a huge thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe and share with your friends. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace out, guys.